Hello. You are on with your Divine Soul Empress, Danielle. And I am a psychic and I'm a tarot reader and I'm a Reiki practitioner. And I also make these lovely tarot candles. I don't know you guys can see them. So we are going to take some callers today. So I'm going to go pretty quickly. This is my third show, so I'm actually kind of getting used to things and how things work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards real quick for your week ahead, and then we'll discuss kind of what to focus on, what may happen this week, and the different avenues and chakras that you want to look into, and then I'll take some callers. So we have, first up, we have the Moonology deck. It's the littler version from Amazon. My friend ordered these actually, and they were too small for her. So she went and bought the actual real deck. I mean, this is the real deck, but I guess it's made somewhere else. So it's a little bit smaller. So she sent it to me because I was like, well, I don't care how big it is. I really like it. I really like this deck. So let's see. It's time to take action. So this seems to be the theme of the week coming up. It's going to be, you may have some plans. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm not very good yet with the camera positioning, sorry. You may have some plans, and it looks like the new moon in the Aries. Different business ventures that you may be interested in. And so Spirit is just telling you now is the time for you to move forward and start actually putting things in motion. And you got communication is key as well at the bottom of the deck. So definitely if there's some collaborations or anything that you want to do business-wise, definitely now is the time to speak up and get those things moving forward. So we're also going to pull the one of these chakra cards. They're chakra wisdom cards. And I actually got them from, sorry, you guys may not be able to see that. I actually got them from Chakra deck out of Five Below. So I use these cards every day. I really wish they would have used a different, like a different card stock for them. Because I really like them. They're very insightful. So if they're just a little more flexible, a little more stiff, then it would be easier to kind of shuffle to get us a chakra card. So we got crown chakra, meditation, and silence on the bottom of the deck. So this week you're being asked to meditate, listen to your inner guidance. And on this energy deck at the bottom is yin and yang. So when I saw this, the meditation and the silence, it says I sit still in meditation regularly as I know there is power in silence. So I'm thinking that we are focusing on this week, definitely trying to get our body back into alignment, and definitely trying to focus on getting our intuition back on point so we can take this action towards what it is that we really want to do this week. And for our actual chakra card, we got first chakra, which is our base chakra. This is actually our root chakra. And it says responsibility. I plant myself on solid ground by consistently taking responsibility and have personal accountability for all that I do. I allow others to depend on me being responsible. My actions speak louder than my words. I rise above excuses and overindulgence as I forgive myself for my past indiscretions. I know I could not have acted in a more evolved way than I was able to at that time. So here's our two cards for the week. So these go great together. This is basically saying that you have a responsibility to yourself to do what it is that you need to do to move forward, to take the steps towards the life that you desire and that you want. So by taking this action, basically putting one foot forward, you're going to be able to create this foundation to start everything else that's going to be forward movement. I've heard a lot about the end of 2020 and the different and various things that could happen and things like that. But one of the things I said at the beginning of this year was that was that this year was for personal development, even at the beginning, because I said last year a lot of people saw a lot of things and people were progressing and they were doing well and everything was going great, but there was a lot of mental health that was still going unaddressed. So interesting enough, when this year came, at the beginning of the year, I said this is the year of self. And I really meant that this is the year of self and personal growth. And interesting enough, if one of the things we've had to do is sit still this year, and that has caused what I would say is sort of like a mass awakening, because people are coming into awareness of their true selves because they kind of had nothing else to do but so itself. And so as they do that, that's kind of how that works. And that's kind of how this all flows together. So you're going to start to plant these seeds to create the life that you desire. So next year, things will start being fruitful and things will start moving towards what it is that you truly want, because you'll start taking steps in that direction. You just need to meditate and listen to your heart space. And because that's where your intuition comes from, and then you'll be able to hear the guidance of what you need to go forward, so you can have this balance that you seek. So we do have our first caller today, and that is going to be Angel in Dallas, Texas. Hey, my sister's name is Angel, and she is actually in Burleson, Texas, so that's pretty cool. Angel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, my sister's name Angel. I just said that. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I actually love Dallas, so interesting enough, I appreciate you giving a call. So you're on with the divine, and I'll say, what is your question? And then I will pull some cards and we'll discuss, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let me get these out of the way. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, will me and Christopher ever, progress and make things official?
Okay. Good question. I don't really think that you need to ask that question, though. I think you already know the answer to that. So let's see what the cards say. Sometimes we often get impatient because we don't feel like things are moving necessarily on our timeline, but there is a greater timeline. So if we just sit back and flow with things, sometimes things will pan out how they should. All right, so let's see. What these are one of the angel guidance cards, so I'll grab one of those. Then I'll pull a tarot card. Pick one more. I just need one. Okay. These are going to come out today. Now that one was one to pop out. So let's see what that one is. Okay, so you got Daniel, I am the angel. And you said his name was Christopher. You got Daniel, I am the angel of marriage, and I'm assisting you right now. So that's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so what it yeah, because I was putting at the 5 of coins. So what it looks like is, this is the thing. Does he have like an ex? Was he married before maybe, or in a serious relationship before?
He has been in a relationship before, probably about 3 years ago, but that's, all I know of.
Okay. All right, was that, and how does he feel about that past relationship?
He said it kind of ended like suddenly, so he may, have some feelings towards that still, especially if he didn't have time to adjust to, the way things ended if he didn't fully heal from that.
Right. And that's what's coming up for him because at the bottom of the deck, we're getting the Seven of Swords, which means that there was some deceit in the situation. So he feels cheated for one, but he whatever the deceit was, it's kind of hard for him to move forward because he's taking it kind of personally. So he kind of still has this broken heart because he has yet to process everything that went on because of that deceit, if that makes sense. So he's not, it's not that he doesn't want to progress with you because you've got you've got an angel, angel of marriage, and this says a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works too. That's why I said really, the answer. He is going to move forward. You just have to be patient. He's going to have to heal this broken heart. He also got the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. So he's got a wall up right now, and he's going to have to deal with the things that are going on, that went on, and he's going to have to not take it personal because it's not personal to him. It's the person. It was the person. And you got Isabella, and it says, Isabella, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectations. And you got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about fate. So, and it's about good luck. So you also may be you may want to go to school. Well, maybe not school, but you may want to go to, you might want to go back to school, or you might be thinking about changing jobs or something like that, or starting a business, because this often means you could be, or he is. In that case, you definitely want to go that route. You will have success in this. You will have success in the relationship. You just have to be patient. Don't push him. And he has a couple of triggers, and you trigger them. You trigger them on purpose because you guys kind of have this dynamic where, so you have similar traits, and I don't want to say that they're toxic, but they're not necessarily healthy. And so sometimes you trigger him on purpose because you want attention. But that's just contributing, like that's making him go back to this and making him feel like, not that he's in this situation, but it's making him afraid that this situation could wind up again. And so he's going back to this blockage. So you have to be mindful of those triggers. And instead of, because of the ways that you're used to getting attention aren't necessarily healthy for the dynamic, you want to be mindful of when you might be upset because you need some attention, or if you're really having an issue and you are upset about it, if that makes sense. Because you know what I mean? Because the way that you approach him in those times, even though you don't mean to do it, for him, it's a trigger. And so he's reluctant to do what he really wants to do because he's afraid that it's going to wind up how that situation wound up. So it was I don't want to say traumatic situation for him, but it was a very emotional situation for him that he's still working through.
Okay.
And don't pressure him because you got the Wheel of Fortune, so you guys are good. Just flow and try to discuss more with him your feelings, and be very straightforward. Like, this is what I need from you at this moment in time, instead of maybe some of the old ways that you communicated with others, and he will do the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, right, I totally agree.
All right, you guys are going to be fine. Just be mindful of the triggers. He's got several, but he's trying and he cares for you. So I appreciate you calling in, and I'm going to go to the next caller. We have Ashley in Orlando, Florida. Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. I am well. So I read a little differently than other readers. Sorry. So you're going to ask me the question, and then I'm going to pull a couple of the cards, and then we'll discuss. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what is your question today?
Basically, mine, I just really wanted like to know about my love life because my love life has sucked for a long time.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, guys. I don't know why I just did that. I just tilted the camera. So, well, before I even have to pull a card, some of this process has been about you healing too, but sometimes when we don't want to, sometimes when we don't want to face the things that we are being called to face, we distract ourselves with other things, if that makes sense.
Yes, ma'am.
So some of that dating situation is not necessarily not necessarily based off of it's not necessarily based off of you well it is you and your decisions, but it's more based off of avoiding the things that you don't want to sit with, right? So that's part of that situation. So if we were, so it's not, so don't think you have like no luck and you're not ever going to, yeah, but this cycle is coming to an end. But you know why? Because you started healing, didn't you? You started facing some of those things that you didn't want to face. That's what that is. But see, that's what's going to get you to where you are this Queen of Cups. You may be a water sign. Hello? Okay. Were you able to get her? Mm-hmm. Ashley?
Yes.
Hey. Okay, so you're back.
Yeah, I don't know. My phone disconnected on that.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So you had the Queen of Cups. So what I was saying was, due to the healing and things like that, you're going to see a progressive movement forward. You have the Tower card, so you may have experienced the Tower in a recent situation or relationship that that triggered this healing for you. And that kind of triggered all of this understanding that you've kind of created your own issues when it comes to dating and finding a mate and things like that, finding a spouse. So you're being asked, so for your angel guidance cards, you're being asked, I don't know if you guys can see that because I cannot, but that doesn't mean you can't. I can't really see what's on there. Sorry, I'm still learning how to do the camera and the cards and all of that. So that might be too blurry. But you got patience, and I can't see the Astra. So I'll just read them. Patience, now is the time to learn, study, gather information, enjoy being a student, because in the future you will synthesize your knowledge into action. And then you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. So part of your issues have been that you've been compromising too much. And so you've been a little upset at your dating habits, but you were upset at the wrong thing. Now you're upset at your dating habits because you know that you are sort of the queen of your castle. And if you don't have certain boundaries, you won't receive what it is that you want, right? So these hostilities are now turning into this angel of love, and giving off that angel of love energy, and you're loving yourself how you desire to be loved. It's very important that we love ourselves how we desire to be loved, to ensure that the love that we seek comes to us. But there is some sort of decision that you need to make, and it might already be about a relationship. I think part of the issue too, part of the healing, is that you needed to admit that you really cared about someone. And you needed to decide whether to move forward from them, or to possibly wait to see what would happen. And I don't want to say wait, but you may have been picking partners instead of, sometimes we can care about somebody so much that we try to find a reason why the relationship won't work. So then we try to move on as if we're actually ready to move forward and find that person. And we really just draw in more people who are not for our highest good, because we're not being honest with ourselves, right? This person, this other person that you may be interested in, they may have been married, or they may be in a marriage or in a relationship with someone, or they may be recently out of a relationship or marriage with someone, because you got the Hierophant. So that could indicate that they were in a relationship, but you have to stand in your Queen of Swords energy. And this goes back to, you deserve the very best, reach for the stars with your dreams and desires. And also too, this is blue, which to me definitely calls out to your throat chakra, and the Hierophant is blue too. And so you have a lot of things that you don't say. For some reason, you aren't speaking up. You're not speaking your truth. And so you may be afraid that if we experience speaking our truth as a child, and then people either didn't listen to that, or they kind of dismissed it, then as we get older, we hesitate to speak our truth because we really don't think it'll make a difference. So in this situation, you're being called to speak your truth, whatever that truth is, even if it's admitting to yourself that you really care about someone that may be at this time unavailable to you, but it's really who your heart desires. Because also with this, now is the time to learn and study. I'm getting that you're not really supposed to be dating. I'm getting that you're supposed to be more so focused on your life and the life that you want to create. And as you're creating this life and loving yourself how you desire to be loved, this person is going to come back into your life, and you're going to be comfortable enough really telling them how you truly feel about them, how they hurt you, and how you still care about them. Because sometimes we actually care about people who don't necessarily treat us right, but we still love them, and that's okay too. That sometimes we love people, and they're not at the stages. They can only love us at the stage they're at, right? They can only love us as much as they love themselves, which is kind of what you've been doing with other people. So you have to make sure that you're loving yourself better, so you can start speaking this truth and drawing in this love you seek.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That does sound like my situation. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's okay, because we spend a lot of time we try to punish ourselves because we try to tell ourselves that we don't care about people, so that we can kind of move on from them. But that doesn't give us, we have the right to care about someone. You have to think of, like even children who have a parent, right? And their parent isn't the nicest to them. They still love that parent. And so we have to allow ourselves the space to love, even if the person isn't good for us or right for us at this time. And a lot of times people get into relationships and they get into it under this false societal and childhood conditioning, and then they're in this relationship and they don't really understand that that's not what they want until they come across what it is that they truly desire. And then that's kind of like a process of awakening and understanding and things like that. So your dating life has been crap because you really don't want to date, so you're not really picking viable dating people. And then I'm sorry, I don't mean to chuckle not at you, but the hostility card was just jumping out at me, and so you're frustrating yourself by picking the people, but because you didn't want to heal, just to deal with those kind of things, because they are hard to deal with. You did create this dynamic of these people that you didn't like. And that's okay. That's okay. That happens. It's okay. And so now you know, because you had to go through that, you had to create that dynamic so that you could then turn around and heal. And on the bottom of this card, it says, happiness awaits you now. So call upon your angels to comfort you and to guide you to your next step. Happiness awaits you now. So it's going to be there. It's going to come. You're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to. You're healing now. So just continue to heal, and everything will work out how it should.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You got this. Don't worry about it, Ashley.
Yeah, I just have one more question and I'm all done. So
yes.
That's that situation with the person who I'm dealing with. Should I just leave them alone for now? Because that's the thing, I'm trying to avoid them, but it seems like the more I avoid them, the more they keep coming around. So it's like it's kind of hard to avoid them to try to get me.
Right. You can, well, this is why you need to speak your truth. You are supposed to be setting certain boundaries, and certain boundaries are that certain things have to happen before you can move forward. And so you need to sit down and you need to write down what it is that you desire in a mate. And I would do that right now. And then you want to take that list, and then you want to make sure that this person and your boundaries line up. So you need to set boundaries in the places where this person does not respect them. And you need to let them know that those are now your boundaries. And they need to come up to those boundaries. And by you setting them, they will, but you have to set them first. Don't not do that.